is this team going to be when it comes to their leader, specifically Jayson Tatum? Why do I bring this up? Jayson Tatum did not win conference finals MVP out in the East. It was Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown averaged 29.8 points, just about rounding up 30 points a game, 51% from the field, 37% from three. Again, average I believe 3 rebounds, 4 assists, just about on the entirety of the run, which is ironic because if you look at the numbers, at least statistically, Jayson Tatum was doing more on the floor, though they played relatively as many minutes. He believed he had more rebounds, had more assists, had all of it. However, it was still Jaylen Brown winning conference finals MVP. And it's a question that really needs to be asked as to what is Jayson Tatum going to be for this Celtics squad now going back to the NBA Finals on their redemption road from the loss to the Warriors when the Warriors came back and won their title when it seemed like all hope was lost. This is a time for Jayson Tatum to really show what he's about. Specifically, we have been saying that Boston is built for a finals run. Boston is built to win. Boston is built to reign in the East. Yet they haven't done it. Yet it hasn't come about. One of the biggest reasons why was because of Jayson Tatum, at least in my estimation. Maybe not yours, but mine. Reason being was because it always seemed like in the biggest moments, when it came time for you to really lock in and do what you needed to do, you as Tatum never produced like you needed to. You never came up in the same elite way that you did in the regular season. And it was all because you got outplayed. Either you were making dumb mistakes or you got outworked and you just couldn't perform as a whole. Even in this Pacers run, even in this Pacers series, when you beat them 4-0, let's not forget that game tying shot that Jaylen Brown hit. I believe Jayson Tatum was the one that missed the first time they were trying to tie it up and take and save that game. On top of that, in overtime, Jayson Tatum for about 3 minutes in that overtime period was abysmal. 2 turnovers in less than a minute. Missing shots left, right, and center, couldn't hit anything, was causing his team to lose a majority of that overtime period with the Pacers. That's what happened. Celtics, again, inevitably won that game, but that didn't change the fact that he was, for the majority of that overtime, playing abysmal. When it came for him to never to be called, was not able to produce. People may overlook that because, oh my gosh, look at him. He's 6'10". He can shoot. He can drive. Oh, he's incredible. He is incredible. Jayson Tatum is a star. Jayson Tatum is somebody that can be a top 10 player in the league. Yes, he can. And many people have him as top 10 player in the league. Me, I have him at 11th. I have him at 11th behind AD. And I have him at 11th behind a healthy Kawhi Leonard. Now, granted, if you think that health is a major factor and that Kawhi shouldn't be in the running because he normally isn't healthy for the majority of the time he's on the floor, okay, fine. I'll give you that. Even still, Anthony Davis. And I think Anthony Davis had a better year than Jayson Tatum had this year. So, no, I think he is a fringe top 10 player in the NBA, but he can elevate to that level. No doubt about it. We've seen him do it. We know this. But the problem is he hasn't been able to do it when the moments count the most. Specifically when it comes to a finals level opponent, or rather a finals level stage. And when he should have outclassed and outbeaten his opponents last time he was in the finals, like with the Warriors. Celtics were the better team in that finals. Yes, they were. Celtics had the better amalgamation of talent, top to bottom, bench depth, all the way to starting rotation. They could defend the Warriors, they could guard the Warriors, they could outscore the Warriors. They had height, they had size, they had interior presence, and they had rebounding, and they had shooting. They had everything you would need to be able to nullify what was then the seemingly, from what we knew them as, the depleted vestiges of what we knew as the dominant Warriors dynasty. That's the truth. That team should not have gotten to the finals, let alone have won it. They shouldn't have, but they did. It's the testament to Steph Curry. And he came up big in that series. And it's testament to what he does as a leader for the entirety of that team. And just the team as a whole. They were able to get what they used to have in that 2015-2016 era of basketball and bring it back. They did it. Hey, more power to them. Props to them. But when Jayson Tatum was in that finals, when he had the better roster, and all he had to do to take this team over the top was to play like the superstar that he had been in the regular season, and he didn't do it, begged a lot of questions. And still, those questions are still impending to this day on him in his career. Are you really going to be the best man on the floor? Because we've seen countless times, like with the Pacers series, Jayson Tatum has not been the best player on this team. And has not been the most valuable player on this team. It has been Jaylen Brown. I've been saying this for a couple of years now. Whenever it comes down to numbers, cool. Tatum's got it. When it comes down to when it's time to win, some reason or another, it's never Tatum that I'm seeing as the main antithesis for why this team is able to succeed. It seems like it's never him when the moments are biggest. Finals got outplayed by Jaylen Brown the entirety of the season. Had one of his worst series in his career in that finals run against a team that he should have been able to dominate against because he's 6'10" with a great shot from behind the arc and can drive when he wants to, like some of the best in the league. Offensively, he shouldn't have been held to that level of ineptitude, but he was against a team that, with respect to him, should not have been able to stop. And it shouldn't have been that Jaylen Brown, the brother who at that time was more relegated to only being a right-hand bandit, can't dribble with his left at that point in time, was abysmal going left. Still was able to put up better numbers and still was able to be the catalyst for why those games were close more than Jayson Tatum. This is the problem with Tatum. Your teammate, who's supposed to be your running mate, is being the front man for your squad. Whenever it comes down to who has the biggest impact, who is causing this team to win, who is causing this team to thrive, when it comes to the playoffs, who is causing this team to be able to get victory or rip victory out of the hands of defeat, it's never you. Seems like it's never you. Seems like it's Jayson Tatum seemingly shrinking. Jaylen Brown elevating. I've never had anything bad to say about Jaylen Brown in the playoffs during this elite tenure that the Celtics have been on. He's been consistent. If anything, he's outplayed or overplayed what we normally see him as in the regular season. Jayson Tatum is not the same way. He continues to underperform to that level of ability that we keep saying that he has at his disposal. Continually. That is his problem. It never seems to get fixed. Never seems to get right. It never seems to be something that we can consistently hold Tatum to in terms of the standard of excellence that we see you have in the regular season, even in the early rounds of the playoffs. When the playoffs get deeper, you never amount to what we see you as. Always fall under the expectations that we have of you based on what you are as a player. Based on what your talent is, based on where your standing is on this team, which is not only the best player, but you should be the leader. And if they want to win this final, whoever it may be, whether it's the Timberwolves or Dallas, it's got to be Tatum being the man that takes hold of being and thriving as the best player on the team. I'm the guy that can give you 30 and 8, 30 and 10. He can do that. Yes, he can. The problem is he doesn't. Even though Tatum averaged 30 this series. Phenomenal. His brother had 30 on the series. Absolutely. But he shot about 47% from the field. Almost sub 30 from three. Taking the most shots on the entirety of the team. Again, Jaylen Brown shot 51%. 37% from three. More efficient, more effective, and still put up nearly 30 points a game. Just about 30 points a game. We might as well round it up. Though I know Jayson Tatum is the better player. Though I know he can do more. Though I know he's more versatile. Though I know he can be a good defender. Though I know he can be a guy that can give you 50. The problem is we haven't seen it from him. Haven't seen it from him on this level of impactful consistency. Always feels like it's his running mate that's running the show in terms of leading the game, leading and bolstering the squad to be something. That's just how I feel whenever I watch this Boston Celtics team play. But when this finals comes about, he's got to be the man. And I do mean the man to step up and make this happen. Because if he goes and plays like he did again in the NBA Finals in his first stint and has his running mate, Jaylen Brown, outplay him, then it's going to be a problem.